Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. We're going to go straight to the sine rule and we're going to talk about how to solve questions with the sine rule, and I'll solve some examples on it. And also, if you've not watched my previous video, please go back and do so. And finally, if you've not liked, shared, and subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. Okay, so let's quickly go straight into this. Okay, so before I go, before I proceed, I'm going to talk about some key things in this video. Now, some key points I want you to take note of. Okay, so these key points are very, very important. All right, so there are key points that I want you to note. Now, if you have a triangle, let's assume we have a triangle like this. We have this triangle. Let's call this triangle A. Let's call this B, and let's call this C. All right. Now, what I need you to know here is that number one, now what we call side A, all right? When we're talking about side A, so side A, small letter A, right? Side A is the side opposite angle A. So is the side opposite angle what? A. So if you look at this, for instance, in this example, so this is the angle A, all right? So side A is going to be this point here, okay? So also, we're going to do the next thing. When we say side B, when I'm talking, all right, when I start solving questions, so side B is going to be the side similarly to A, but this time it's going to be opposite to angle what? B. So similarly, it's going to be opposite to angle B. So that means if this is angle B, okay, side B is going to be here. Then also, we're going to have the next one. We're going to have side C. Side C is the side opposite angle what? Angle C. So if this is angle C, right, side C is going to be here. All right? So that is the first thing first I want you to keep in mind. All right? Now we've done that now. The next part now is how do we then use the sine rule? Okay, how do we use it? Now, usually there are different two things that has to be what? That has to be satisfied before you use the sine rule. So the first thing that has to be satisfied is going to be that the triangle must have two known angles and a side, okay? Or you can have two known side and a known non-included angle. So that is it. Or basically, you need to just know one side and its opposite angle plus one more side or angle, all right? So I'm going to write it now because I know some students will take notes. So the next thing that you need to know is that when do we use sine rule? So when to use sine rule? Now, to use sine rule, there are two things. The first thing you must have is that you must have two known angles, okay? You must have two known angles and a known side. Or let me just say two angles. So just in case you're looking for one of the angles in the question, so some students will not be confused. So you have two angles, all right, and a side. Okay. So what I'm saying is that you have something like this. So you're having two angles. Maybe you have angle B, you have angle A, and maybe one of the sides. So the side here, angle A. So you have two angles and a side. Another thing again is that it's also possible that you also have two sides and a non-included angle. So you have two sides and a non-included angle. Okay, two sides and a non-included angle. So for instance, you have something like this. So two sides. So let's assume that this is side B and this is side A. So we are saying it's a non-included. So it's not going to be between A and B here. It's going to be somewhere else here. So let's say this is angle what? B. Are you seeing it? Or you could have it the same way, the same two sides. Okay. You can have it here as B and A, but you have this side here A. So technically, you're not going to have any of the included angle. So with this now, you can now say, combining both 1 and 2, so I and II for the second point, is that basically we can say that we need to know one side and its opposite angle. Because if you notice, in both of the cases, you have the one side and an opposite angle. So in this case, you have this A and you have the angle, the side A. In this case, you have B and the side B. Same thing, you have A and you have the side A. So regardless of the criteria, you need to know have one side and its opposite angle. Then you can add either one more side or one more angle. All right. So basically, I'm going to write it down. When you use sine rule, so basically, to use the sine rule, we need to know okay, one side and its opposite what? Angle. So you need to just know one side opposite angle, then you can throw in plus one more side or angle. Okay, so in order to, when you want to use the sine rule, basically we need to know what? One side and its opposite angle, or you just have one angle added to it, or you can have one side added to it. Now that is that. So we've now known when to use sine rule. Now the third thing again I want you to know is the formula. So there are three things that is very important before you start solving questions on this. Now the formula for this, okay? So the first thing, I just showed you what it means to have the side and when to use the sine rule. Now the formula of sine rule is very easy. Now the formula is A divided by the sine A equal to B divided by sine B will be equal to C divided by sine what? C. Or you can flip it if you want to, okay? If you want to. Some students prefer it flipped. So you can have it as sine A divided by A will be equal to sine B divided by B, okay? And will be equal to sine C divided by what? C. So in order to solve this, okay, the thing you need to keep in mind about the formula is that you need to know at least one pair of the sides with its opposite angle to use the sine rule. So that means basically, if you want to solve this question, you need to at least know one of this. So it's possible that you could know sine A over A, okay? Or you could know sine B over B, is completely given in the question, or you will know sine C over C. All right, so I'm going to write this down. So one of the things that you need to keep in mind here is that you will need to know at least one pair of a side with its opposite angle. Okay, so in order to use the sine rule, or let me just say to use the sine rule, or let me just say in order to use the sine rule. So the key thing is that you need to know at least one of the pair of the side with its opposite angle in order to use the sine rule. And the most important are number 4, all right? Because we're going to talk about obtuse angle very soon. Number 4, key point you need to keep in mind is that the sine rule will only give you the what? The acute angle. Okay, so the sine rule only give you the acute what? Angle. So we talk about acute angles, an angle less than 90 degrees. Okay, less than 90 degrees. So I'm going to talk about these when I get to the point of talking about obtuse angle, but I just need to throw it here so that when we get to that stage, when I start solving, I'm going to just refer to it here. All right. Okay. So these are the key points you need to know. The side A is the side opposite angle A, B opposite angle B, C opposite angle C. You can only use the sine rule when you know one side and the opposite angle plus one side or angle. And also the formula is A over sine A, B over sine B, or C over sine C, or you could flip it. And in order to use this, you need to know at least one of the pairs. And number 4 is that the sine rule only gives you the what? The acute angle for this. All right, so let's solve some questions now. So let's start with this. I have a question here. So example. All right. We said in the triangle below, so in the triangle below, okay, we're told to find the sizes of the angle of angle A and angle C. Okay, so we have a triangle like this. Okay, we're told this is A, B, and C. And we're told that this is 62 degrees. Here is 12, and here is 10. And we're told to find angle A. So we're asked to look for angle A here. All right. And we're told to find angle C. So we're looking for angle C here. Now you can see when I was talking about when to use sine rule, I told you that for sine rule, you need to know one side and it's what opposite angle plus one side or angle. So basically, for the formula, you need to have at least one of the pairs of the side and the opposite angle should be known. All right, so let us put it in the rule now. So we know from this, if this is B, okay, then this 12 has to be, remember the side facing the angle has to be the small side. So that means if this is angle B, then this is going to be small letter B. Okay. Now, if this is angle A, 10 is going to be equal to small letter A. And this is going to be equal to small letter what? C. So that means small letter A is equal to 10, while the angle A, we don't know. Small letter B is equal to 12, and the angle B, we're told, was 62 degrees. Small letter C, we don't know what is that, okay? We don't have that as well. And capital letter C, we don't have that as well. So if we now look at this, the formula now, we know the formula is sine A divided by A is equal to sine B divided by B is equal to what? Sine C divided by what? C. Okay? Now let's go. So sine A divided by what is the A? 10 is equal to sine B. That'll be sine 62 divided by 12 will be equal to sine C divided by C. Now, if you go back to the previous board, I told you that in order for you to solve, you need to know at least one of the pairs, okay? So now if you look back, you can see that we have a complete pair here, okay? We have a complete pair here. So definitely, we can then use the sine rule to solve for this. All right, so let's use the sine rule now. So with this now, we can now pair them together separately. So we can now pair these two together now. So we know that sine A over 10 is equal to sine 62 over what? 12. You cross multiply, okay? So you cross multiply. So 12 is going to multiply sine A. So you're going to have 12 sine A will be equal to 10 sine 62. But we're looking for sine A. So you divide both sides by what? 12, right? And then this is going to cancel that. So we're going to have sine A will be equal to 10 sine 62 divided by what? 12. But we're not looking for sine A, we're looking for A. So A is going to be equal to the sine inverse of all this. 10 sine 62 divided by what? 12. Okay? And then when you press this in your calculator, A is going to give you 47.4 degrees. And that will be the answer for angle what? A. So that means now we can go back and do this. So angle A is going to be 47.4 degrees. Now we've known angle A, we know angle B. We can easily find angle C because we know that the sum of angles in the triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So we can apply that, add them together, subtract from 180, and it's going to give us the missing angle there. So we know that the sum of angles in the triangle, okay, is equal to 180 degrees. So we know that the sum of angles in the triangle is equal to 180. So basically, when I add angle A, B, and C, it should give me 180 degrees. So that means definitely when I add 180 degrees must be equal to when I add angle A plus angle B plus angle C. All right. But we're looking for angle C now. So therefore, angle C is going to be, we take A and B to the other side. So it's going to be 180 minus A. Then you take B to the other side minus what? B. So it's going to be 180 minus, our A was 47.4 minus, what is the B? The B we had was 62 degrees. The minus 62 degrees. And then that will give us 70.6 degrees. So C is equal to 70.6 degrees. Okay. So like I said, later in the video, I'm going to talk about concept of having obtuse angle, because in some cases, some angle can have an obtuse equivalent. So I'm going to talk about that later. I have a different video for that, but this is just straight to the point here. And also, I also told you that the sine rule always or usually give you the acute angle of that particular triangle. So the sine rule will not give you the obtuse angle for that. Okay, that is that for that. Okay, so let me pick one more example and let's solve it. All right, let's pick one more example. Okay, let's pick one more example for on this. So let's assume we have in triangle X, Y, Z. Okay, we're told to then find the length. Find the length X, Y. Okay, and we had this triangle here that was given. So we had triangle like this that was given. Okay, this was X, this was Y, and this was Z. So we're told this was 29 degrees. We're told this was 55 degrees, and this was 13 centimeter, or it could be any unit. Okay. So like I always say, I usually prefer to just write down all the angle and the size. So we know this is going to be the angle X, right? So the angle X, okay, was not given, but the side X also was not what given. Now angle Y was given to be 29 degrees. Are you seeing it? Now, side Y, so this is going to be equal to side Y because it's directly facing the angle. So side Y is going to be equal to what? 13, okay? Now the next thing, angle Z was given to be what? 55 degrees, okay? Then side Z is going to be this part here. Side Z, or let me use the other notation, small letter Z, okay? Was not what? Given. All right. So let's go. We can put it in the formula now, okay, as we normally would have done that. So we know that the formula is going to be, we can use it as either you say sine x over x or you say x over sine x. So I'm going to just use the last one. Which one did I use? I think I used sine a over a, so I can repeat the same thing here. So I can say sine x over x will be equal to sine y over y, and it'll be equal to sine z all over what? Z. Okay, so we can now put it in. So we now have sine. Was x given? Nope. Okay, divided by x will be equal to sine y. Y was 29 divided by y, that is what? 13, is equal to sine z will be sine 55. So sine z, sine 55 divided by what? Z. Okay. Now, but the question is asking us to find length xy, and length xy is definitely what? Z. They want us to find. So as you can see, we have one complete pair. So that means in order to find z, we need to equate these two together. So let's do this. So it's going to become sine 29 divided by 13 is equal to sine 55 divided by what? Z, all in degrees, okay? All these are in degrees. Now, what you need to do, we're going to cross multiply. So it's going to be 3 sine 29 will be equal to, sorry, not 3, Z. I think just to avoid confusion for the Z, I'll put Z and I'll put this like this. So maybe it will help. It will help to differentiate it so that nobody will think I'm talking about 3 here. Okay. All right. So we have that. Z 13 sine what? 55 degrees. We're looking for Z, then we divide both sides by sine 29. We divide this side by sine what? 29 degrees. Then this will cancel that. Then we're now going to have Z will be equal to 13 sine 55 degrees divided by what? Sine 29 degrees. And when you press this in your calculator, it should give you 22.0. So that means if, for instance, the unit of this was 13 cm, for instance, then you can say this is going to be 22 cm. So therefore, length xy, which was the same thing as what? Z, is 22 what? Cm. And that is how you solve questions on this. All right, so that is that for that, and we are done. So the next video I'm going to talk about the cosine rule. All right, so I'm going to talk about the cosine rule. So it's important that you review this video, try to understand it, and try as much as possible to click on the notification bell so that when I post the next video on cosine rule, you'll be the first person to know. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to send me an email, or you can put it in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about cosine rule.